concerns of the Keystone neighborhood, and I'm hoping that there'll be some way of a better resolution at the end. One thing I did want to just touch upon was the fact that a comment was made regarding affordable housing and workforce housing in respect to high-end housing. And I think everybody could probably agree that the healthiest community is one that has both, that covers the full range of people and the full range of diversity that comes with that. Not everybody is well off, and maybe the people that first have that affordable housing, maybe a few years, couple decades later, they'll be in the best of the housing. And wouldn't it be nice to keep them in the same neighborhood, in the same city? I'd like to also point out that when we have higher end housing, well, let me step back a little bit. When we have workforce housing and affordable housing, generally that's rental. And generally that income from that is on par with the expenses associated with that group, with that housing element. But when you have high-end housing and condominiums and single-family homes, that brings added income to help sustain the rest of the community. So I think we should look for, as high as possible in the case of this parcel, that it is high-end. As a matter of fact, it's so high-end, this might be their third, fourth, or fifth home. And they're not going to have many cars. They're not going to be here half the time. And that should be something we should really seek out and try to get. With those people, these high-end people, who do you think is going to bring businesses here to start up and startups and get jobs here? People that could live here in high-end homes. If we don't have that for the high-end executives, you're not going to get the jobs here. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Hello, Karen DeLeon, 1935 South Hibiscus. Thank you for working on this project, especially you, Vice Mayor. We very much appreciate the efforts. When we were here last and the suggestion of 80 to 110 feet was made, we got very excited at the idea that we would getting closer to the transition zone that we are looking for. The issues that we are speaking about are not shared by the public at large. These are specific to this area and not just the White House Inn. We are thinking further ahead and down the line of what would impact the community. So our concern at 110 is that by the time you add the bonus, it becomes 143. At 143, we do believe it becomes incompatible with the neighborhood. It becomes too dense. It'll loom over the neighborhood adjacent to it. We would want to make sure that the units are listed in. The BZ zoning does have concerns for us in terms of the amount of units, so we wanted to make sure in the covenants that it is limited to 54 units. And I just totally forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, the Bayshore entrance. That is something that we do understand is to be eliminated, but we haven't heard that yet. That's something that we feel very strongly about in terms of the bridge. Thank you for your help on this. We are looking for a win-win situation. We are looking to see a beautiful area in which single-family homes are not loomed over by a huge building. Thank you for your assistance.
Bill Wright, 1940 South Hibiscus. I've had the pleasure of speaking to the council before, so I'll be brief tonight, not bore you with additional. A month ago, I asked the rhetorical question, how do you get to the beach? I'm not sure that I've heard a resolution to that problem. I think that a traffic engineer proposed and waved his hands and said, not going to be many cars that want to go to the beach, but I would encourage you to seek a real solution to that. Second issue that I'd like to encourage you to resolve is the builder has pledged that no construction traffic through Keystone. I've not heard any means of how they plan to support that. Are they going to hire a private security guard to check people that come through Keystone? Or maybe they could hire off-duty North Miami police officers to do that enforcement. So I'd encourage the council to try and find a resolution to those questions as well.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Once again, my name is Eddie Molliner. I live at 1875 Keystone Boulevard. I believe that the council that's representing us spoke well in finding a resolution with this contractor. Please listen to it. I mean, we're trying to come down and negotiate. As somebody that lives on the main street where a lot of those, you know, unless we have off-duty officers controlling that they're not passing through there for the construction, then I know that we will be affected. We are affected by the normal traffic that cuts through Keystone Boulevard all the time. So really appreciate if you guys listen to them and understand that we're trying to negotiate so it's something that is very, acceptable for the whole community. The only thing I'm wondering is, I know this representative, the contractor, talked about affordable housing in the previous project. How come they can't have affordable housing in this project? I mean, why can't they give also 10%? If we're saying that, they're saying that they're doing this for the city, for people to have affordable housing, why can't we have affordable housing for people looking at the bay? Why is only affordable housing on the west side of the city? So I really think it's being a hypocrite when you're saying affordable housing. I think you should also save 10% of the living space in this area for affordable housing. Why can't people that cannot, afford millions of dollars in housing can live there also? So I think that if we try to do that throughout the city, I think that every building that we allow, we should allow a certain percentage for affordable housing. That way, all the citizens in North Miami can afford to live in every area of North Miami and not just singled out to a certain area. Thank you.
Public hearing still open.
Don't forget, we have 2 mics.
Again,
if
there,
you wanna.
yeah.
Public hearing is now closed. We're gonna have to close.
William Welsh, 2032 Northeast 120 Road. I'm in agreement with everything.
Because we're gonna have
the
some
attorney
power
for,
thing. We're gonna have to shut
Keystone
it
Point
down.
has said, lowering the height. I'd also like to point out a walkway around the building is not mixed use. The last time I was reviewing this, they were asking for an underground garage, and the code is for mixed use, and just a walking path is not. I'd also, going off a little bit, I'm opposed to BZ zoning. I don't know all the restrictions because I was out of town at the last meeting, but I'm opposed to giving them BZ zoning on this unless it's totally controlled that they can never get extra height or density. And I'd like to remind politicians that when they make a promise or give their word that they're going to do something, they need to fulfill that word because the voters are the ones who will remember it. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and
Yes.
council members. Eric Reel, I reside at 12418 North Bayshore Drive. I'm actually within 400 feet of the property. So in terms of the impact is to me and my family that is not shared by the public at large. Again, this is unique. The impacts will be unique to my family. The project is an intrusion into the neighborhood. It will further increase the cut-through vehicular traffic in the neighborhood as well as the community. The project is incompatible. It's not a transition project. 110 feet and 143 feet, which it could be, is not a transition to a 35-foot single-family home that is essentially 75 feet across the canal. Visually, the height, the bulk, and the mass is intrusive. I have significant concerns regarding rooftop lighting. If they light the exterior of the building, that will be a 143-foot lighted beacon. I'm also concerned about what happens on the rooftop. So, and just in closing, I just request clarification on one simple question. So with the assignment that you are going to do with the BZ Land Use and Zoning this evening, if this property owner abandons the project, they abandon the declaration of restricted covenants, does the property still retain BZ zoning? And the reason I ask that is if it still does, the new property owner or another developer could come in, do a 100-foot, 110-foot, 115-foot project and 100 units per acre. And I direct that question to the mayor, and perhaps Mr. Cook can answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We will answer all of the questions at the end. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hello again. Loreto Sibel. I reside in 12455 North Bayshore Drive. My property and where I reside with my family with 2 young daughters is approximately 1 block away from the proposal of the renovation to the White House Inn. And while I do agree that that is an ugly looking building that needs to be developed, I'm absolutely against the fact that it would be a BZ zone, and it could be as tall as 143 feet. We reside in single-family neighborhoods where it's 35 feet height maximum, 1 or 2 story houses. It's interesting that something like this could come to an area where the same representative a few minutes ago was talking about having affordable housing and, you know, offering like 600 apartment units in, you know, a 16 and an 18-story building off of 123rd Street, and then this, which is only 2.2 miles away, also off of 123rd Street. What is the impact on the traffic? And secondly, I really want to address the fact that since today we're in the middle of a hurricane and it's raining outside, on any normal day, when it rains on 123rd Street, there is extensive flooding. If you have ever driven there, and I welcome you to do it, it always floods. I live there, I go through it, I go through that intersection, it's quite dangerous, as is today. So please go there now. Now, with a new building there, where I haven't really heard about any kind of sewage treatment or any of, you know, the water or all of that, what's gonna happen then when now you add in over 100 vehicles to that traffic and all those people living off in that intersection? Like, that's a valid question, and I haven't seen it. It's right off the water. Where's that water going? Are they doing anything to improve that? So I'm opposed to this. I really hope that you go against this, and I worry about the surrounding neighborhood. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Robert Waxman, 13290 Biscayne Bay Terrace in Keystone Point. I want to focus on an issue that doesn't affect me as a resident in Keystone Point, but deals with the question about accessibility of this walkway on the east and the north part of the property. And I'll ignore for a second the issue about not being able to access it on a Sunday, which would seem to be the most popular day of the week when people would want to be able to access this walkway. My question is a practical one. It's great to tell people that they're going to be able to access this public area. How are they going to get there? Where are they going to park? It sounds great, but there's no way for the residents of North Miami to be able to get to this area. I'll be able to walk through there because I live very close by. But if you're a resident outside of Keystone Point, or you're not in San Souci, where are you going to park? I posed this question at the last meeting, and I still have not heard an answer. I'd like that addressed by the representative of the property here tonight. Thank you.
Public hearing still open.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Woland. I live at 12934 Banyan Road in Keystone Point. I am a consultant for the applicant and a lobbyist, but I have also been a member of the Keystone Point homeowners for probably 40 years and a director for many years, and I'm invested in this community. And I've sat where you all are sitting. I understand, especially at this time of the year, you have a budget hearing tomorrow night, and you get to decide tomorrow night, guns or butter. Do we hire another 2 police officers, or do we fix the street that's flooded, or do we buy books for the library? And a project like this, which could bring $1.8 million to the table every year, is outstanding. And I believe that as you look toward the future, it's important to make provision for buildings. 10 minutes ago, you approved Tab I, a 16 and an 18-story building. Good, you know what? That's building the tax base. That's making money to fix problems, to hire police officers. This building, every single floor, is more than $100,000 every year of taxes. This is a gateway to the city. This is the first thing people coming out, this is what they see. And this is by far the highest quality building that I know of that has been built in the city of North Miami. Because every single home there is going to cost at least $4.5 million, and that's the start. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Scott Kimball. I live at 2080 Northeast 124th Street in Keystone Point. I just want to put a few things on the record first and say that I think I commented the last time I was before you that I can't stand bad numbers. So I just want to say that while we are certainly, I think we're all on the same page that the White House Inn should be redeveloped, and that this really is an opportunity to show that there is a possibility for development and single-family homes to coexist and maintain the integrity of North Miami. So I think that I support everything that Karen said from the Keystone Point Homeowners Association view and why the height requirement is so important to us. It's critical to understand that maybe they may not want to use 140 feet, but I think that would be too big. And if you think about the infrastructure situation in the city, the traffic, the flooding, the sewage, all the problems we have in Keystone, it's really nice to think that this is going to be David Beckham's, fifth home at the entrance to North Miami, and it's going to be $5 million, but the numbers don't support that. The percentage of sales in oceanfront property in Sunny Isles, Hollywood, Hallandale that are at this price point or higher is in the single digits. So these are the numbers that you're hearing. I implore you not to be wooed by those and look at the big pictures. Let's do what's practical. If there's no need for 140 feet, I support what Karen said. Let's put some sort of a height restriction on it so that we make sure the infrastructure, the project, and the integrity of Keystone Point all remain compatible. Thank you.
I'm Maureen Horowitz. I'm an attorney. I reside at 2390 Bayview Lane. I lived in Keystone Point since 1967. I'm a member of the Keystone Homeowners. I've been on their board. I was the chairman of the Charter Review Board for the city, the Parks Recreation. I've been a special master for the county for 9 years on the Value Adjustment Board. I've been involved in zoning issues in the city and very supportive always of the city. It is the gateway to the city. And Keystone years ago gathered support to acquire the North Bay Shore Park so that all the residents of the city of North Miami could get to the bay and go fishing on the pier at the bay and have the children of the city bring their dogs, their families, and enjoy it. This is the other side. Is this appropriate for a BZ zone? I say it is not. We are not voting on a building here. We are voting on a land use designation. If this developer decided to walk away from the project, flip the land, you're going to have a piece of property zoned for a minimum of 110 units. 110 units. This isn't land connected to uplands. The Broad Causeway was finished in the early 1950s, and the developer put a piece attached to the Broad Causeway on the western northern end, a 1 acre intrusion into Biscayne Bay, filling the bay bottom. That's what we have here. 1 acre of essentially the edge of the Broad Causeway. It isn't in Keystone. It isn't on the land in North Miami. There is nothing zoned for 100 units per acre within 800 feet of this property. The park is public land. Mariners Bay runs 600 feet along the bay. It is 4 stories high, 25 units per acre. The planners say, look to Majorca Towers. That's similar. It isn't. That's only 75 units per acre.
Thank you very much. 2 minutes.
Thank you for the privilege of appearing before you. I do support the restrictions that the homeowners have come up with. If you do go ahead with the zoning, it should be severely restricted.
Next. Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Council members, do you have any question? Okay. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to be very, very brief. There have been some comments about what happens if we were to flip the property. As part of the approval tonight, you are going to apply a declaration of restrictions that is limiting the site to 54 units and 110 feet in height. That's what you've done. As part of this project, we are providing $500,000 for workforce and affordable housing. And I myself would welcome affordable housing on the east side, and I don't mean to be flippant here, but I would have welcomed affordable housing in Keystone Point as well. Look, I think that we all have opportunities, and we recognize the importance of affordable housing all throughout the city of North Miami. And this developer is providing for its fair share by providing a contribution for it. And we've put it in writing. We've put all of these items in writing that we're going to address. And finally, the last point I'll make, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Tucker Gibbs. We've done a variety of projects all throughout Miami-Dade County. We've negotiated deals. We've gone through this. But I got to tell you, we've been telling and we've been asking Keystone Point since April to sit down with us and to provide us with what they would want to see, what they would like to see, and how they would like to see it on the site. And I didn't receive what they wanted to see until literally tonight at this hearing. So I don't think that that's in good faith. That's what I would submit to this council. I thank you for your time. I thank you for everything that you've done, and I appreciate you providing me with some time for rebuttal. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Council members, do we have any questions? None?
No question.
Do I have a motion? If
No,
there's no
right.
questions? Can you let Vice Mayor, because I was under the impression,
No,
no,
no.
No, because so I was reviewing what Keystone proposed and with the declaration that you all provided at the last council meeting. Question one, is this project capped at 110 feet? Because here it states that it's 143 feet in actual height.
Yeah, so the project is capped at 110 feet. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but the way that your code is written is that the height is measured from the base flood elevation plus 1. So we would do the 110 feet for the project, but it would also have 20% that could be used for mechanical space as well in addition to that.
So are you guys, in your restricted covenant, are you restricting to just 110 feet completely, or are you going to be tapping into that?
No, we will be tapping into that additional area of space for the height. The actual amount of height, I don't know. That's something that's going to come before this council when we come before you for site plan approval.
Okay. The Baywalk access, I know here they wanted to include Sunday. Is that something that you guys are willing to?
We don't have any objection for Sunday. We were thinking about it as having just one day off, but we don't have any objection to Sunday as well.
But at the end of the day, you understand, they need to for maintenance and cleanup.
My next question, under the term, it says that this declaration will be binding for a period of 20 years. Is there a reason why 20 years will, and I know it automatically records for a period of 10 years. I guess is that every year? So is that stating that this is only in effect for 20 years?
No, the term is going to, so there's a legal issue that comes up that we're trying to deal with, so you can't have, there's a rule against perpetuities in law. I'm not going to go into it, but it's essentially a requirement that the way that we framed it is so that it can be in perpetuity without being against the rule of perpetuity. I don't want to go into the details of it. It's a very complicated legal issue, but that's the reason why we've done it that way.
Okay.
It essentially is in perpetuity.
And what they're proposing in terms of vehicle access, they're saying that no vehicles access to the property via North Bay Shore. Where is, I guess, access being?
So, as noted at the last hearing, one of the things that we've done is that we're going to have the main entrance off of Northeast 123rd Street. One of the commitments that we've made at that hearing, and one of the commitments that we will continue to make even as we come through for site plan approval, is that we will not have an entrance off of North Bay Shore Drive unless an agency requires us to provide it as part of some emergency access. So that's the commitment that we would be providing as part of this, and it's a commitment that, again, we have to come back to this board for site plan approval for.
And I think that's it for me. Okay.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Councilwoman and Mr. Mayor. You know, I do have a couple of clarifications to make, because during last council meeting, apparently a couple of folks did not completely understand what was happening, because there was some interruptions in terms of myself explaining what happened, and I want to set the record straight. And thank you, Mr. You could please have a seat. I want to set the record straight, because this has been a headache for me, which I don't live in Keystone, which you all know. And, but I love the city, and I think I mentioned that during the first meeting, and we had several meetings with the residents. But I do want to say a couple of things before we get into the nits and gritty of what happened. The last time that we were here, we left the room, and several other residents, and I did not get this until a couple days when I met with a couple groups of couple folks from the homeowner group. A lot of folks were under the impression that because of the BZ zoning that they got BZ zoning, which I was trying to explain, it was a little difficult. Let's take a step back. The applicant came and proposed, they wanted 4 main items, I called it, that was very, very major in terms of, in my eyes with the city. That was the 169 feet proposal, the text amendment, and also they wanted the BZ zoning applied to their property, and some other stuff. Those 3 main items that I mentioned, the applicant had received none of those. And let me repeat that. The BZ zoning, we had to apply it to them and then apply the restricted covenant, which we had to do because I asked the attorney, and I had several meetings with Mr. Cook and the attorney to find out, because I don't like the word BZ zoning, and I've been saying it because it's a little confusing. But it means a lot to some of the residents on the condo. But there are some folks, whatever that they're gonna think, that's what they're gonna think, which I'm okay with. But do not go out there and lie or destruct the record, because you need to understand or ask the attorney or ask someone who knows about whatever that we are discussing before you go out there and put your own opinion, because it gets to the point where we're trying to say over and over again, no, they did not get BZ zoning. Yes, this is where I am, and I have been very clear since the beginning of this project. Again, we had to apply the zoning code of BZ zoning to get to the height that we wanted to get. And I asked the attorney at that point, is there another zoning code that we could apply that could be closer and then we could do the math? And they did mention one that was way less lower than that. They said the only thing that we're gonna have to do is to apply the BZ zoning, and the strategy would be then we put the restricted covenant if the applicant would accept it, which we had several meetings. And in terms of the height, we talked about how we got to the height, and I'm not going to do it publicly. If anybody want to ask me on how I got to that number after the meeting, I'll be more than happy to talk about that. But I've been very, very transparent in terms of how I got into that that height with some residents that was there, as well as with the developer. Now, in terms of what is Prosper, every time I thought we are moving forward in terms of trying to get something a win-win for us. They didn't get nothing they applied for. I don't even get it. They didn't get nothing. We have been, the residents of Keystone, been guiding this ship, and I said to you guys, I will help as much as I can. I don't need nothing from the developer or in terms of whatever that they are Prosper. So I cannot go back and ask them about guard gate or any of that, because that's what I said to you guys. I do not need anything from them. All I am worried about is the height was the concern, and all the other things, the density. Let's talk about the heart issues, which we have done. And last week, another issue arose. It was the Bayshore Drive, the gate, and I went on and I did what I had to do with the developer. I was so excited. They came back and said, you know what, we will not do the gate off Bayshore Drive. We will do it at 123rd, if only permits and the emergency thing, and I think we shared it with some residents, and I was excited about that. And then, the posts keep on moving. This is what I'm not going to do. I am not going to either say one thing to the homeowners or say another to the developer. I don't operate like that. And I think everybody should know that by now. If it's one thing, it is what it is. And you could think whatever opinion about me that you want to think. That's fine. As long as you don't think I'm a liar. That's all I care about. Or a stealer. So any of the other names, you could put it to the book. Edit on. I don't care. But I am not going to let anyone say that I lied or, you know, this and that. Because it hasn't. And there's nobody in this room who could say it. So no, they do not have BZ zoning, which was a big type of stuff that was going on. And I even called the assistant city attorney when I was meeting with some residents, because when the restricted covenants came out, there was some language in there, and I thanked the residents because I wasn't aware, and the attorney office had already handled it. And they added some more language into that, which covers the declaration, which I thought tonight we were dealing with that. So that's what I had already said, what I was comfortable with, the 110, and then when I did meet with some residents, they talked about the 143, which I was not aware. And I got on the phone again with the developer. I said, listen, I understand the 110. It's a problem. It's not everybody who's happy. It's a compromise. What can we do? Because, you know, one of my expert resident, you know, Eric, kind of, you know, said there's a 20% thing, and I confirmed it with Derek, which is true. We do not want to see, you know, this, you know, 140, please see what you could do. And they say to me, Councilman, you have another opportunity in terms of if this approved, in the site plan, that needs to become. So in terms of the walk around the gate, I won't be over there walking around. I don't think nobody over there, if that's what you guys are worrying about, walking around any day. That's number one. But it's not spot zoning, and we do have a lot of residents who are in support of it. Because we get the emails. They are not coming out because this has tear the community apart. Neighbors against neighbors, and they don't want to say nothing because a lot of you guys are very outspoken, and they're not. So they emailed us and asked us, you know, this and this and that, and I have been in the middle, which I have no reason to. And it's not about no vote, because we all know what history has told us, and I already said that before. I'm really doing this because I care about the city, and I want something there. So if somebody want to accuse me of that, that's fine. So again, the restricted covenant, which is the declaration, and I think Mr. Gibbs and some of the residents, but a lot of the things that were mentioned, the developer already talked about it. They already talked about the guard gate, which I thought was a big deal, which at that point until last week was the biggest deal. So a lot of the things that were mentioned here, they have done way beyond that. If you guys do not want me to, you know, go back to their 169, please say it. I you know, because I don't live over there. I am trying my best. So please work with me. That's all I'm going to say. And thank you. Thank you for the majority of the residents, almost all of the residents, for understanding this is not an easy issue, because I could have done a lot of things, and I think you all know that, and I choose not to. And I want to thank the developer for working with me, because they could have said, you know, blank, you know, but I'm not going to ask them about no guard gate or this and this, and I would like for them to address it. I would like for them to, you know, talk about it, but I can't do that because I did not, the way I attended the first meeting with them was all about your need. And that was never part of the conversation. So whatever they put forward, we're going to make sure that the height, all of the different things that is in the declaration, in the restricted covenants, and the restricted covenant does not transfer from owner to owner. It stays with the property. And it's only applied to the White House. Only the White House get the 110, and it's not BZ zoning, although we are using the term to get the height there. That's all, and the attorney had said it on the record. I don't know anything else to do, if we need to do any flip, anything else, and I thought I was okay with that, and I'm okay with it, Mr. Mayor, in terms of, and we'll address some other things if residents want at the next site plan meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions and comments?
Move for approval.
Do
Second?
we close public hearing?
No?
Okay,
You did? Okay.
okay, thank you.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Desamay. All in favor? I'm sorry, it's a roll call.
Do you
Mayor
have any
Bieneme?
submitted, previously submitted?
You said no?
Oh, no.
You
you
said-
said-
You requested, well, you all voted to not have previously submitted comments.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desamay, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Scott Galvin, how do you vote?
No.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members.
The motion carries with a 4-1 vote. Tab K.
Tab K.
I have a question for city administration, Mr. Mayor, if I may. Is there any way to bring the certificate of use and the site plans at the same time?
We're going to silently exit the
Let-
room.
Hmm?
Oh, we have
That's a question
Site-
for city administration. Is there any way to bring the site plan and the CU at the same time? Like for any development, not just, the CUP? Mhm.
They can come on the same meeting, yes, but sometimes the site plan may not be ready, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Just, just a little ear to
Tab
dare.
K. Can I hear motion on tab K?
So, oh,
That's the second, that's a
but
complement of the first item.
no public.
We
hearing?
did that for, it
Oh,
was
they
for both.
closed?
It was
Oh.
for both.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Desamay to approve the item at tab K. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
No.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desamay, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 4-1 vote.
Tab L.
Tab L, a proposed quasi-judicial second reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending volume 1, goals, objectives, and policies of the city of North Miami 2036 comprehensive plan, specifically by amending the official 2036 future land use map to extend southward and eastward the boundary of the special development and transit-oriented development SDTOD overlay district by 3 parcels of real property totaling approximately 9.86 acres in size located at 1890 Northeast 146th Street. Folio number 06-2221-006-0100, 2000 Northeast 146th Street. Folio number 06-2221-005-0010, and 14401 Northeast 20th Lane. Folio number 06-2221-005-0020 to encourage compact mixed-use transit-oriented development in accordance with Section 166.041, parentheses 3, parentheses capital C, Florida Statutes 2021 and Sections 3-1002, 1003, 3-1005, through 3-1007 and Section 3-302 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, declaring the zoning map amendment to be consistent with the city comprehensive plan, further authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to effectuate the amendment to the future land use map, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, codification, and for an effective date, tab L.
Yes, sir, it is.
Tab M, a proposed quasi-judicial second reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 29 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Land Development Regulations at Article 1 entitled General Provisions, specifically at Section 1-106 entitled Official Zoning Map to extend southward and eastward the boundary of the Special Development and Transit-Oriented Development SDTOD overlay district by 3 parcels of real property totaling approximately 9.86 acres in size, located at 1890 Northeast 146th Street, folio number 06-2221-006-0010,
2000 Northeast 146th Street, folio number 06-2221-005-0010 and 14401 Northeast 20th Lane, folio number 06-2221-005-0020 to encourage compact mixed-use transit-oriented development in accordance with section 166.041, parentheses 3, parentheses capital C, Florida Statutes 2021. And sections 3-1002, 3-1003, 3-1005 through 3-1007, and section 3-302 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, declaring the zoning map amendment to be consistent with the city comprehensive plan, further authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to effectuate the zoning map amendment, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and for an effective date, tab M.
Thank you very much. This is the second reading for both tabs, tab L and tab M.
Your mic.
Tab L. Sorry. This is the second reading for both tab L and tab M. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab L and M. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Try to beat that tornado.
Let's start with tab L first.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the item at tab L. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Biename, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desame, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Tab M.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the item at tab M. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desame, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Biename, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. And since we have that power
Yeah.
shortage and now it's
I do have a quick report on the EOS, on emergency status.
well,
Whenever-
if you have a quick report, everybody gonna wanna have that report.
Mayor
we-
was
no,
out in
we
the
have a
field with his
storm.
jacket today.
You have the power
Reporting live.
shortage and we won't be able to
WPLG.
report.
we were able to get it back up.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's when we can start to, we can have everybody's report now. Now we have to open citizen forum first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
She is
citizen
here.
forum is open. I thought you have a
Thank you,
power
Madam Manager.
Issues. No, she said she have a power issues and now she,
Good evening, everyone. Jocelyn Nelson,
Yes.
510 Northwest 122nd Street. We would like to be added on the budget for the year 2022 and 23. Do I have to list what we need or
You can
just
say
say
that.
District 4? How do I do it? Because it's my first time here.
you have 2 minutes, you say whatever you want.
Oh,
Tell us
whatever
what you
I want. Okay. We need the repavement of our streets. We need the sidewalk to be redone, the street lights, cameras, the sasso pool, the lockers, and the toilet are leaking.
All of them for Sassopool.
No,
All of those items for around Sassopool or no?
around our district,
Okay,
Alhambra
okay, okay,
Heights
okay.
and Sunkiss Grove.
Okay. Thank you very much. You have one
You're
more
quite
minute.
welcome. Oh, everybody's so tired, so I am very brief.
Thank you very much. Citizen forum still open.
Hector Medina, 1270 Northeast 124th. Just for the record, the council regarding the citizen board should be familiar themselves with the Attorney General legal opinion, advisory legal opinion, AGO 9762, date September 19, 1997. Subject, Law Enforcement Officer Bill of Rights and Complaints. And you'll realize that subpoena power without teeth is nothing. It's a waste of money, the board.
Thank you very much. Citizen forum still open. Citizen forum still open. Chief, citizen forum is now closed.
No report from District 1.
District 2.
District 2, just wanted to say happy Rosh Hashanah to everyone that celebrated. We know that Justin Gisbert also died on the eve of Rosh Hashanah. And also just a reminder to everyone to please be safe, to stock up on their emergency supplies, prepare for the lights being out. We know that even when it rains in North Miami, you may lose power outage in certain places. FPL has not been able to harden the wires. Also on FPL, they have been trimming trees with the storm, and we've been in constant communication, and they are working diligently to remove those tree trimmings in District 2. And I think that's it for me. And thank you to city staff for helping with the radio distributions. We did have a few emergency radios left, and we were able to give out 98 emergency radios along with portable chargers that we had in the office for anyone who may need some. We have portable chargers left, but we're working on getting more emergency radios. They come with a solar radio. It's a solar emergency radio, and it also has the capability of charging your phone and a flashlight. So it serves as dual purposes. So again, everyone, please be safe. We know school is out tomorrow and Thursday, so my house will be full of nieces and nephews. And thank you, City Manager. I did read your memo that you are providing child care for city employees who have to report tomorrow.
You said that means we can come eat at your house. Oh. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Again, just want to remind everyone that on October 15, in partnership with Team Hope, I will be hosting a movie on the lawn at Griffin Park at 7 p.m. The movie will be in Shanto, which is in celebration of the Hispanic Heritage Month. So I invite everyone to bring their blankets and lawn chairs as we have a family night out. So that would be on October 15th at Griffin Park at 7. I want to continue to invite our North Miami resident with students of the age of 15 to 19 who would like to join our youth council. This is an excellent opportunity for young emerging leaders to learn about local government, advise mayor and council and city council on matters affecting the youth, and make recommendations to improve youth relations and activities and program while receiving community service hours. For more information, please visit northmiamifl.gov/youth council or call 786-685-2576. I also want to remind everyone about to save the date for October 27th to the 23rd. This year for Government Week, we have a lot of exciting things as usual for you and for North Miami, but in particular District 3. I know that we may be experiencing wind and flooding. As usual, if there are any issues, feel free to email us at district3@northmiamifl.gov or call 786-385-2576 if you're experiencing any unusual flooding or whatever issues during these days that we're monitoring this tropical storm, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Again, the number is 786-385-2576. You can also email district3@northmiamifl.gov. And that's all that I have to report tonight. Thank you.
District Phone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Real brief. Again, I think Council Member Timothy mentioned it. Happy Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. Be safe. Hurricane Ivan is dangerous out there making its way around Florida. If you do not have to go out, please do not drive in this weather. The number that we do have established, are we still giving out sandbag, Madam Manager?
We will be giving out sandbags tomorrow. There is a time, so we'll put that out.
Okay.
On our
Thank you, because I did have someone.
But what I was going to add about sandbag, can you increase when you said 4, what can be done with 4? Can you increase the amount?
Sir, we only have a limited amount, and so we are trying to preserve.
So the number, if anyone, a power goes out, please do not try to be anything. Just call our police department, 305-891-8111. I think that's the emergency management. Although I know the county has started level 2. I know we're not there yet because it's not coming towards us, but please, residents, be safe and call our Police Department 305-891-8111 is that number. Any flooding, lighting, your power goes out, we do have contact with FPNL. Please do what you can and be safe out there. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. He's gonna run 100% in 10 minutes.
Well, you're
Alright,
ready.
well,
What's your jacket?
definitely wanted to echo the importance of everybody staying safe. And I just want to really encourage folks to think about the most vulnerable amongst us. I know that there's information being shared. We need to think about how we're sharing that information. Not everybody has access to technology. We do have some low-tech folks. We have folks who are in very vulnerable situations in terms of their housing, maybe how they're economically disadvantaged. I think we need to, as a city, be really thinking about those folks, thinking about how we engage with some of our CBOs that we already partner with, already doing the work. I know that I apologize for being late. I was doing a rapid response coordination with some folks in different organizations, the county, to talk about how we're providing services to the immigrant community during this time. So I really urge each and every single departmental director, if you're already going to be out, well, I mean, I can't direct staff, but definitely wanting to encourage us to really think strategically about the places that we'll be over the next couple of days and how we're providing services and information to folks, because this is extremely difficult for a lot of people right now. And so we just really need to be sensitive to the least of us. And that's all. Thank you.
City Attorney's report.
No report, Mayor.
No executive session. City managers. City managers report.
I'll settle some case tonight. Have you there tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
I have some updated information. One thing outside of the emergency, I did want to talk about the AHAC, the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. We haven't been able to meet, and we know we have those dollars. If we're not able to meet, then we would not, we haven't been able to meet quorum. So a couple of you on the dais do have vacancies. So please think through them, and please let us know as soon as possible so we can actually have those meetings and actually spend those dollars. We won't be able to. And then secondly, we are updating. We've got new updates from the memo that I just sent recently to the council. Beginning 10 p.m. tonight, we are going to activate at the monitoring level for our EOC. The county has activated at a level 2. We plan to close the city hall tomorrow and non-essential to work from home if possible. We plan to continue to hold on to the budget meeting as scheduled and make final determination in the afternoon based on what the new advisory will be. So that's our update
So
this
City
evening.
Hall is closed? You're closing City Hall tomorrow?
City Hall, yes.
I'm sorry, who's non-essential?
So those are all listed and everyone knows from the
Public
yeah.
Works.
Yeah.
Mr.
I can talk to
Emergency,
that. I can we'll talk after.
Police, the chief, 24/7.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to be able to add something, please. If there's a vacancy for me for housing, I'm going to be looking. I'd like to, for the next one, appoint Mike McDermott and also appoint him for personnel, if I'm allowed it for that. I just would like that to see that on a resolution on the next agenda.
Okay,
please.
you do have
Just
a
wanna-
vacancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if we do have to cancel tomorrow's budget hearing, does that mean we need to reschedule before the 30th of this month?
So if we did have to cancel,
If
which
it's
would,
due to emergency or hurricane, I think.
well, we have a limited amount.
7 days.
We have a limited amount of time, 7 days, and we have to clear with them through the notice. So that's why we're gonna try to keep it on and check the weather tomorrow on the weather alert. Because even with our correspondence with the state, it's actually better to keep it. We've talked to other cities. Several are keeping it on their calendar because there has been issues with the 7-day before, later, so that's our plan. So while we won't have the other operations, we're going to keep it there. I will send another advisory around 3 p.m. to all of you tomorrow. And then we will be looking at the 5 a.m. advisory that is expected to come out from the county. So in the morning, we'll also be updating. But we are sending updated information out tonight. We have staff working on that currently.
Quick question.
Can we meet virtually?
No, Lord.
No, we've gone through the, we've been debating the legality, and so we wouldn't be able to do it based on notice.
Mr. Mayor, I got a question.
to adjourn now.
What do you mean it's gonna rain? How you know?
I have
Is
a
it
motion
rain?
made by Councilman Galvin to adjourn.
Wait, I have a question, Madam Clerk.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I forgot my question. Go ahead.
Is there a second?
Jesus.
Is there a second?
Yes, I said.
Oh, okay. Seconded by Vice Mayor Desilme. All in favor? Any opposed? It is now 9:34 p.m. Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Good night. Stay safe.